Guys, this is Ilham with my second watch review. The watch I have with me today is a Seiko SKX781. This is the sibling, if you wish, to the Seiko SKX779. Now, this is dubbed the Seiko Orange Monster, and you can see why. This dial is just a glowing orange. And the SKX779, its brother, sibling if you will, is dubbed the Seiko Black Monster. A couple of things you'll notice about this watch and its sibling. Its style is unique. No other watch is like it. You search high and low for a watch that's like this and you will not find one. The style is definitely modern, it's definitely rugged. It's also, again, a true testament of how Seiko can kind of manage to get all of the features of this that this watch has at such a great price point. So this watch, I purchased this about 3-4 years ago for about $200. And, you know, when people ask me, you know, what do you look for in a dive watch? What do you recommend in a dive watch? Seiko dive watches, and this one especially, and its sibling, the black dial Seiko Monster, almost always are up on my list. And again, is one of the watches that I tell my friends, this is the one you have to get. Especially if you're just starting out. No question about it, price to ratio, this is great. A couple things I want to mention to you about this dive watch. The first is its bezel. This is a unidirectional bezel. It only rotates one way. And so you rotate it one way. For example, right now, this watch is showing 8:30. Friday, it looks like the date is 2, which obviously is not the case. But so I positioned the loom pipe, which is located here, to the minutes hand there. And say I'm going on a dive. And, you know, I set this, I go into water. Now, the good news is this bezel doesn't allow the bezel to go the other way. And, you know, again, this is a safety feature so that you can time your dives correctly and you don't run out of air while you're down there. Granted, I do a lot of desk diving instead of water diving. But again, you can use this feature, this bezel, to time multitudes of things. You know, from barbecues or whatnot. And so it does come in handy. But that is the first feature of this dive watch. The second feature, you'll notice there's a day and a date window here. And again, that's operated by the screw down crown at 4 o'clock. So, excuse me, rotating this crown towards me and unscrewing it. There it is, that's its neutral position once unscrewed. If I pull it out to its first position, this controls the day and the date. So if I rotate the crown towards me, you'll notice it changes the day window, and that there's actually a Spanish day window as well. So if you prefer, or if you're a Spanish speaker, and if you prefer that day window, you can choose that as well. Now, turning the crown away from myself, you'll adjust the date as such. Now, that's its first position. On the second position, I'm going to pull this out once more. This controls the actual time. Now, watches, you'll notice that the date changes slowly until I hit the 12 as such. Excuse me. Now this is actually not a quick set date function, so therefore you'll see kind of that gradual change from 10:30 to 11 to 12 when the date finally switches over. There's no biggie there, so I thought I'd just mention that if you are used to kind of a quick set date changing at 12 o'clock. Alright, so again, screw down crown, good feature of this watch. At this price point, a dive watch should have one. I'm going to push this back in, as such. Now, again, screw down crowns can be kind of finicky, and this one is no question as well. This is again, so the correct way of screwing down the screw down crown is you push back in. Now, instead of just screw it in and then screwing it back and tightening it, what you want to do is push it in, turn it towards you for a little bit till you hear a click, and then turn it away from you and tighten it up. Now, why do I do that? The reason is, if you don't do that, there's a chance, excuse me, there's a chance that you will cross-thread this, and that's not a good thing. Sorry, I'm just getting over a cold, so there might be some coughing there, as you'll see, and I apologize. Okay, so we discussed kind of the crown, the screw down crown, the bezel. I want to just kind of go over and go right towards the bracelet here. This is a solid stainless steel bracelet. You'll notice this is a fold over clasp with a dual push button. So you'll see the two push buttons on the side. Let's put that on, and then there's a fold over clasp, and there's a Seiko inscribed, and it looks like it's just stamped there. But again, it provides that additional safety. Now, again, back to the bracelet. A couple things you'll notice. This is a solid stainless steel bracelet. Nothing is hollow about it, other than the stamped portion of the clasp. That's stamped, again, but it's still stainless steel and fairly solid. You also notice that the connections of the bracelet to the watch, and what I'm speaking of is right here, right there, this is solid, right? So this is really, really, really a good bracelet for this price point. A lot of the watches that you'll see at this price point do not have the solid stainless steel pieces connecting directly to the lugs. So this is a good value add, good quality bracelet. Now, the second thing you'll notice, aside from kind of the solid aspect of this bracelet, is that the clasp itself, let me close this and then you'll see it a little bit better. The clasp has minute adjustments. Look at these holes in here. Right, so you'll see these. There's 4 holes there. So, say I've adjusted these, and it still might be a little too thick. I'm sorry, not too thick, but too snugly fit for me. Or it could be a little loose. I'm going to put this on. So, say it's too loose, right? So it's a little too loose. I could go right here, adjust it, and take it 1 notch smaller. And that's such a great add from Seiko. This allows for better adjustment instead of taking a full link out. So this is probably about, I'd say about a third, a little bit over a third of an extra of a link without having to add or remove an additional link. So again, good job Seiko for doing that. I'm going to take this watch off again. I'm going to show you a third feature now. I've spoken about the solid stainless steel bracelet, kind of this nice addition with the adjustments. Now, if you were diving, you'd have a wetsuit on, and that wetsuit's pretty thick. I'm not a scuba diver, but I will take this watch down underwater with me. But you'll notice here, I'm going to take this pen and show you. So there's the Seiko clasp. You can see the Seiko logo on there. But underneath this, there's actually an extension so that when you're art diving and you're using this watch, you can still wear it, right? So, those wetsuits are pretty thick. So it's this piece that I'm talking about right here, right there. So I'm going to show you, and I'm going to see if I can try to pry this off. And then I can show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to slide that in there. I'm going to pop that open as such. Right? And so there it is. Look at that. We've just gained about another, I'd say about another half an inch, maybe a little bit more. So it it's really fits snugly right there. And again, to put it back, so there it is. It gives it an extra half an inch. I'm just going to put it back by just putting it the way it was before, and then just putting this back on. There it is. So again, a nice addition. Not available on a lot of watches at this price point. Again, just a great addition by Seiko there. So again, we talked about the bezel, we talked about the crown, we talked about the bracelet. I'm going to flip this watch over and I'm going to talk to you about the case back real quick. This is a solid stainless steel screw down case back. What you don't want in a dive watch is a case back that just snaps right on. There's almost no water resistance there. Again, this is a water resistant to 200 meters. And you can see it on the dial there, divers 200 meters. And so really another protection from getting moisture, getting water into the watch itself. So that's another feature. Really, one other feature of this watch, other than this awesome, just striking orange dial, is really the lume on this dial. So the hour markers here, you'll see here right above the Seiko, and all these hour markers, they glow like a torch. And watches at this price point almost never have this much lume ever. Again, it's very hard to show you because, excuse me, I would need to charge this in a light, but again, yeah, it's very hard to kind of show here. But if you were to put this watch under a light for about 10 seconds or so, and then kind of cover it up with your hand like this, you'll see that it'll glow pretty brightly, bright enough at least. So again, there it is. That's another feature of the watch. I'm going to talk about the engine of this watch now. This is the movement. The movement power in this watch is a Seiko 7S26B. Now this is a 21 joule automatic movement. It's a movement that powers a lot of other Seiko lines as well. Most notably the Seiko 5 watches. It beats at, I want to say, 21,600. And so that's vibrations per hour. But yeah, so again, it's an automatic watch. You can tell here the seconds hand doesn't tick like a normal quartz hand. It's actually ticking, but you can barely tell. Excuse me. So you can barely tell that it's ticking. It's actually ticking 6 times. Oh, I'm sorry, not 6 times, but it's actually just ticking really quickly, and therefore you can't tell that it's that it's actually ticking. So it's pretty smooth. It's what we call a smooth sweep seconds hand. So again, this is just a great watch. I do have both. I do have this orange one, and I'm going to reach down. I'm going to grab the black one for you. And so there's this, that's kind of its sibling there. That's SKX779, and here's the SKX781 to my left. I'm going to leave this watch right here. But again, back to the SKX781, truly just a great value in a watch. This is, I don't know what more I can say about this watch. It can do whatever it is that you need to do. Excuse me. Very easy to change out these lugs as well, so you can physically change this bracelet out. Again, this watch comes in a rubber strap variant as well. Again, I've had this watch on a leather strap. This is a 20 millimeter. It takes 20 millimeter straps here, so it does take leather straps. And all you need to do is really just take a safety pin or a paper clip that you've straightened out, push through these lug holes, and out comes the bracelet at the lugs here. It's very quick. So again, SKX781, Seiko Orange Monster, guys. Such a great watch for the money. Please let me know if you do end up getting one. Just a great watch overall. Thanks again for viewing. Thank you. Bye.